I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Political Spotlight. I'm your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. You all know Dr. Katherine Callahan from Madison County. She was messaging me today, and she was like, man, this feed is going crazy. I want to talk about this deal with Victoria Spartz. Without further ado, we're going to bring up Katherine Callahan, and we're going to get straight into this. There were people from all sides of the political spectrum. There were people who were conservatives and people who were liberal. There were people who were far right. There were people who were far left. There were independents and people who were just there to, hey, there's a happening, okay? But I'm going to say it, and it is what it is. The largest portion of the people outside happened to be people who were anti-Trump, definitely anti-Spartz. They were there. A lot of people there with messages about Elon Musk, and look, I have no problem with anyone doing what they say, and everyone has a right to their opinion and say it. The issue I have is when people say, I have a right to say what I want to say, but as soon as you say what you want to say, I'm going to come up here and accost you. Okay, because there were a lot of people that were yelling things that I didn't agree with. I never went up and put my hand. I didn't touch anybody. I was at this rally, and I did not touch a single person other than people I shook hands with or fist bumped. But so these young men, they were Ball State students. They were there, and they were very vocal about being pro-Trump, Republican, pro-America, and they left for a little bit. And they came back. And when they came back with a bullhorn. There were other people there with bullhorns. They were speaking into it. These people were not doing anything different than anybody else. When they came back, they were, being a little provocative, but no different than anybody else. And this is who we're going to hear. But the first couple words this gentleman made on his bullhorn, you see this crowd run over to him. It's not like they just let him be. They run over to him and immediately are getting up in his face. All right, here we see this. I'm going to start walking that way. There's pushing. You just saw a push there. And look, people might think, well, he's being aggressive. Yeah, he's being provocative. He's yelling into this thing. They're doing the same thing. And that's cool. Everybody should be able to do that. Be provocative. Have a little bit of fun. You're at a protest. Everybody can get wild. Just don't touch anybody. Don't cross the line. Don't touch anybody. And so here we go from here.
Nobody stopping license please.
I mean, they're totally encircling him. Now, I do want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to this young woman here, right here. I want to give a shout out to her. Ryan and I were talking about her, Aimee West. Okay, she is part of, I assume she's part of Muncie Resist. She's definitely part of the Democratic liberal side of politics in Muncie. And she and I probably do not agree politically on anything. I know her and Ryan don't. Her and Ryan are always polite with each other. I'm always polite with her. She's always polite with me. She was in the mix of this, and she was trying to tell her people, don't touch him. Don't touch him. Don't block him. Don't circle up on him. Let him be. And I really respect her for doing that. And she was putting herself in a dangerous situation doing that, because it's kind of a mob mentality at this point. And there was a lady that got knocked down. No one knocked her down. She was knocked down because of the crowd, and it's like a wave, and it was kind of chaotic. And so I give Aimee props for what she was doing. She, I guarantee you, doesn't like this gentleman's point of view, but she was saying, hey, don't touch him, don't touch him. She was trying to calm her people down, but they were beyond calm. Now here he's going to get punched. He's going to, okay, so this guy back here with the mask, he's going to walk up and he's going to punch this guy. Literally punch this guy because he's speaking. Oh, there we go. Right there. There's the punch. Now, listen, I don't care what you're talking about, and I've not asked this gentleman what his thoughts are, and maybe he's like, look, I'm not trying to press charges. I don't know where he is. We'll ask him here in a minute. But that's battery. I just witnessed battery. And there's nothing that you can tell me that makes what that gentleman in the green shoes, the white pants, the face mask, and the plaid jacket, nothing makes what he did okay. He should be sitting in jail tonight. Now, that's just my personal opinion. It is what it is. We'll ask him, the gentleman here in a minute, but we'll continue on here.
No! Jesus Christ! Our atheist liberalism!
No! Stop! Stop!
Get the fuck out of our city!
Stop!
Hey!
Those three women should be in jail.
Yeah.
Come on.
Now, I think what they were chanting there is go home. And that's one of the things that I heard repeatedly today. If you came there and you had any kind of message differently than waving the
Their
Ukrainian
message.
flag, different than their message, they wanted you to leave. I heard the woman in the striped shirt, she kept pointing her fingers in the chest of an 89-year-old veteran who was there. He was wearing a Trump hat, and he was there. He was very hard to hear. He spoke kind of low, so he wasn't like yelling or in their face, but they simply didn't like what he stood for. And they kept telling him that he needed to leave, that he was, he needed to go home. His time could come any minute. He could die there in the parking lot. He could die next week. He could die
He
next
could
month.
have died in Vietnam, and
thinking,
he didn't.
Yeah,
so
right.
You know what? If he wants to stand out there, he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
I
was
that's just my
happy.
love that. I'm
Yeah.
not pro-Vietnam, but you know what? These men
Sure.
did serve, and we are here today, so y'all need to knock it off.
Yeah. It's nuts. All right, so here the police come. Now, and this gentleman here in the black is with the man with the bullhorn. So now here, I start to get a little funky because I understand what the police are doing, and I respect the police. Former police officer, fully get what they're doing. I understand they're trying to separate him out. They're trying to make sure he's safe. They're trying to make sure the other crowd's safe. They're trying to make sure themselves are safe. But I was worried for a moment that the police were trying to make him leave. So I wanted to be very close so that I could hear, because I wanted to make sure that they were not going to violate his rights by trying to get him to just not be there, because that would have been a problem with me.
Go home! Hey, hey. Get the fuck out of here. Keep going, boy. Get out of here. Hey, hey. Get the fuck out of here. Keep moving. Get the fuck out of here. Keep moving. Get the fuck out of here. Keep moving.
Now, look, you can see this gentleman is chest to chest with his friend. He's, you know, fighting. In my opinion, these are fighting gestures. He's making it. I mean, these are gestures of someone who's just, yeah. So, you know, this was very amped up here.
Get back! Get back!
And the police chief, this is the police chief, Sloan, Nathan Sloan. He did a fantastic job here. Once I realized he wasn't trying to make the two gentlemen leave, I was perfectly fine.
He's trying to create a barrier.
He was just creating a barrier. All of his men here did a good job. They all did a fantastic job. Okay, let's continue watching.
He's not here for you. He's not here for protection against the wickedness
I mean, look at these two gentlemen, how calm they are.
Yeah.
My First Amendment rights for believing what I want to believe, just like you find people who touch kids.
And you want me to tell you something? I never heard either one of the gentlemen there. I never heard either one of them cuss. I heard them both say repeatedly, "We're praying for you. Jesus loves you." They've talked about religion multiple times. You know, some people might not like that. I understand. But I never heard them curse. I never heard them, other than in the bullhorn, they weren't like yelling and telling these people to leave. They were just there saying, "Hey, we're here to say what we believe."
I know who you are. I know who you are. You're a child. You are. No, I know. Want to go to court for libel? I don't want to make you have to spend all that money because I respect you. You don't respect anybody.
Okay, now it's kind of calmed down, and we're just here standing around. I'm wanting to make sure to hear these interactions for their safety, for the other gentleman's safety, for everybody's safety. I'm here. I'm not a journalist. I'm a political commentator. I am part of the media. I'm here doing what a member of the media would do. I've been involved in things like this in the past, and I'm not doing anything different than I've ever done in the past.
Because you're a white guy, you're a straight white guy. So, yeah, good thing to do.
So one straight white guy is telling another guy he's a straight white guy. That's very strange.
But for this guy being so young, he's done a great job.
Yeah. Now the crowd is starting to turn on the police. They were originally saying the police are here protecting us, the bigger crowd. Now they're turning on the police because they're not kicking these people out.
These officers need a raise.
Well, let's just hold off on that just for a moment, because
Why are you standing in the street? Why are you standing in the street, guys? Can't you be civil? Stand on the sidewalk. You gotta hang out in the street. Can't even cross the street.
These fellas are here because you guys can handle your
fellas are here because you can't fucking
impeding traffic. Why are you keeping them in the road? You're impeding
Didn't your mom
traffic.
teach you anything?
This is a traffic violation right now. Arrest them. Impeding traffic.
It's not a traffic violation.
They're out in the road because you push them out there.
First off, it's not a road, it's a parking lot.
Okay, so why don't you people back up and they'll come back up there?
Yeah. This is a driveway. This is not a road in Muncie. This is 2 driveways into a large government center here.
It's a traffic violation.
We're not in the roadway.
Send them on their way. Do your job.
No one's. Now here in a minute, you're going to see the chief of police start talking to them again, and I wanted to be able to video what the officer was saying to them. I wanted to make sure that they weren't telling them like, "Hey, you guys need to cut out of here," or whatever. I wanted to make sure that we were allowing all these people to protest. I wanted to make sure that these 2 gentlemen were able to get their protest in as well. And so I wanted to make sure, and so that's what you're getting ready to see here. And this gentleman here, this is Sgt Swanson, okay, Kris Swanson, another Chris with a K. So I love this dude. I've known him for a very long time. I would consider him a friend. He and I are getting ready to have words here in a minute, and you're going to understand why.
Because your fucking mouth isn't brave enough and big enough to keep you safe. Jesus loves the communists and Jesus loves the poor. Jesus loves the poor. Jesus loves the poor. Jesus is the communist.
loving the poor and paying communists. Read a book.
My bad. Oh, my bad. I'm working up his wrong word. At least I'm not following his word and then shitting on his fucking sins. He died on the cross for what reason? For you to fucking hate his fucking people?
I don't hate anybody.
You don't hate everybody? Why do you not? Why do you think you don't hate anyone? You think that you voted for an administration that is fueled by hate? And you think that you don't hate someone? You fucking hate everybody in this fucking country. You have shown this with your vote. Your vote shows that you hate the American
And now here, Sloan's talking to them. So I start to kind of get closer.
Sure, I'm just...
Now, Swanson has told me that I need to stop walking towards them. And so and I understand why he would say that. He doesn't know. I mean, he knows who I am, and he knows I'm not going over there to attack anybody. But I understand it was a tough situation, so maybe he's not necessarily seeing that specifically Kristopher Bilbrey at first or whatever. But he's like, hey, whatever. So that's why I'm like, sure, I'm just standing here. I just want to record them. So then this is what happens here.
Make sure that they're not being kicked off. I'm just recording what he's saying.
I'm asking people.
Sure. I'm not on their. I'm on their side. I'm not fighting. I'm not fighting them.
I know.
But I want to record what's being said.
I've been telling people they need to step
That's
back.
fine.
And as long as
No one's pressing forward.
everyone needs to come forward.
Okay. Well, then move forward with them.
No, you need to move back. You understand?
If you want to push me back, I
I'm not
guess.
pushing you back. I'm telling you to go back.
And I'm not moving back.
I am telling you to go back.
I'm not going back. No, it's not. It's not a lawful command.
It's not a lawful command, okay, because there's nothing going on. There's no one's being investigated. Nothing's happening here. We're all just standing around with our hands in our pockets. The chief of police is talking. The craziness has basically calmed down at this point, and they're telling me to leave a public area and go from another area. If someone they think that is violent is moving towards these gentlemen, deal with that problem. I've not ever raised my voice in this other than when I was saying, hey, stop. And then once it got crazy, I just shut down until the officers start telling me where I can go and where I can't go publicly in a private location.
Do you know why it calmed down?
Well,
because those 2 gentlemen de-escalated the whole situation as to, fine, if you guys want to speak, Go ahead and speak. They
Yeah.
didn't continue to shout at them. They didn't continue to give them energy for them to keep coming. And they just stood there and took it.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Give people the opportunity to talk.
Yeah, absolutely. So here we'll go here.
Yes, it's a lawful command. It's a lawful command.
Yes. He has asked
No.
you to go back.
And he's no longer. He's now focusing on them. So you do your thing.
I am doing that.
Nothing's
And I'm
happening
now
here.
standing right here. Cool?
Okay, so you're still not listening.
No, I'm still standing right here.
So this guy's mad. I'm just not compliant now. Now this journalist dude, I don't even know who this dude is.
I'm not fighting him. I'm just not.
He's like, don't fight him, don't fight him. I'm like, I'm not fighting him. I'm just not doing what they say. It's okay to not do what the police say if you're not breaking the law. Like you know, I'm a grown dude. I don't need people in uniforms to tell me what to do in public when I'm not committing any crime. I'm just standing here attempting to video record what the officers are saying. No one's even talking anymore, and they're still just worried about me standing in a location where there are other people past me. Even they're not worried about them. They're just shutting me down. And now, because I have said no, I'm just here. You know. Okay, so here we go.
Moving.
So it's all over. So now I even try to apologize kind of to the police officer, being like, we're cool.
We're good. I mean, I'm not trying to cause any problems. I was trying to overhear a recording.
I get that. If he's asking you to move back, though.
If I'm trying to get you to comply, no matter what, even if it's not lawful, even if it doesn't matter, you must comply. And if you don't comply, we don't like when people don't comply. And
But
that is a problem.
Stopped, and then you kept pushing it, and he was no longer concerned, and you were just wiped up.
And now Sergeant Swanson comes over here and kind of tells the other officer and me, like, it's no problem, no worries, it's disengaged. But then he even kind of starts it back up. And this is the biggest issue. Listen to what he says to me here.
Because I didn't do what you told me to do.
I'm not right at all.
You were, because I didn't do what you told me to do. But we're cool. All's well. They've all walked that way now, and we're still talking about it.
But if they're conducting business right here, then
They're not conducting business anymore. Yeah, we're cool. Everything's cool. We're good. I get it, bro. I get it. I get it. I wasn't coming at you. I wasn't coming at you.
It doesn't matter if you come at me.
But if you're yelling at that guy over there, and I'm walking over here.
Chris, you understand?
I get it, man.
There's
I get
a state law that
Yeah.
you can be arrested if I ask you to go
No.
to space.
There's not a state law.
When we're doing-
That's
yes.
been overturned. So you need to double check on that real carefully. That's been overturned.
If I'm conducting an investigation
And you weren't
I
conducting
need
an
space-
investigation.
Wrong. It's not been overturned. There's just an injunction against it right now. So it is not a state law currently. He is wrong.
The
I
chief
don't
was
know what
talking
they were-
to them.
I don't know what they were doing. I
Right,
asked you to step
right,
back.
right,
That's
right.
a lawful request. And if you impede my investigation,
You weren't in an investigation.
I was maintaining.
We're cool,
as
so there's no
a
reason to
space.
discuss this any further.
I'm just saying. I asked you to step back.
If
next
I
time,
feel
need
like
you to do
you're
that.
doing something that is a lawful order, I will never break the law for you. Understand?
If you want to assist in a situation like this, and
I'm
Not
not.
assisting.
I know, but as you continue to press forward, the people I was telling to step back start walking forward.
I don't control what they do.
I know, but I'm supposed to be helping control people so that other people don't.
It
get
was
hurt.
controlled at that point.
It was not controlled. I had two people shouting right there, and when you walked forward, they both stepped up and started walking forward alongside.
Okay. Well, I hate that for them, and I apologize. I'm glad everything's
that
cool.
for us because like
I
when I'm
do,
trying to-
I do.
when I'm
We're
trying
good.
to maintain safety.
We're good.
You're not.
We're good. We're good.
So this is the end of this. And so I want to bring him on. Hello, sir. You're the gentleman that had the bullhorn, and I think you said you're with the other gentleman.
Yes, I'm with James. Yeah.
Okay.
So I am the vice president of the Ball State College Republicans, and then he's the secretary.
Okay. All right. Okay. I thought I heard you say that. So you guys go to Ball State. Obviously, you're students, correct?
Yes, we are. I am a freshman, and my secretary is a junior.
Give us a little bit of background, like why you were there, and kind of what happened from your perspective.
I am the student government representative of the Ball State College Republicans, as well as the vice president. And basically, over the last 2 semesters or so, we've been kind of facing an uphill battle. A lot of the leftist groups outnumber us. They're all united. And they also kind of give us a lot of trouble in student government, and they push through like blatantly like insane bills sometimes. And basically campus culture, from a student body perspective, is very left wing. The administration is very unbiased. I'll give them that. But basically we met some Delaware County people at the homecoming parade, which they had a float in, and we had obviously connections from previous members, but we were invited out via Instagram. They sent us the flyer and asked us to come out, and only me and James here could make it. And so we decided to come out, and we were a little late. We kind of showed up like just briefly after it started. We didn't know it was ticketed, so we pulled up, and we pulled up. We were looking for any Trump supporters. We found them kind of off at the side of the building. It was that gentleman with the large beard.
Oh yeah,
and, I don't know his name, but the gentleman with the large beard and the elderly veteran. And we were just kind of standing there. We were kind of waiting to see what would happen, and and then the gentleman with the beard starts like yelling. Nothing bad. It was like, oh, I love Doge. Like Doge is working. Doge is awesome. Stuff like that. And he has like 5 people come over to him. And it was like 5 people, then another 2, then another 3. And they're like ripping into this elderly veteran with a Trump hat and this guy with a beard. And me and, my buddy, we were just like, okay, we're outnumbered here. And when you're outnumbered in a counter protest, I've been watching like protest footage on both sides for a long time, just like being interested in politics for a long time. But I know that when you're outnumbered like that in a large protest with people shouting at you, you can't really debate them. So we figured if we're the small minority and they're drowning us out and they don't want to have a debate, then we're gonna out audio them. We're going to get louder than them. And we basically just left. We told the gentleman with the beard we said we'll be right back.
Yes.
And also we were sick of the harassment, so we wanted to do something about that. So we left, we went out, we bought a megaphone, we bought batteries for the megaphone, we set it up, and we came right back. So
yeah, that was okay. So I heard you leave, and it was amazing. I love some political theater. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a good time. So you came back and you got on the bullhorn, which I will say your bullhorn was excellently loud. It was amazing, really, really amazing, and it was conveying the message pretty nicely. What were you saying into the bullhorn?
Well, it was a couple different things, but what I thought was funny is that when we pulled up, the left-wing protests had nobody speaking, and then the people that were trying to speak had they couldn't project.
Right.
So it was a large protest, and we were outnumbered, but it was very quiet. So I knew the bullhorn would kind of drown them out a little bit. And thankfully it was very, very loud. And basically all I said to start was we walked up and we were in the far off parking lot, and we were like, we kind of said something in response to their slogan. But what got him really upset is I said in 2016, Donald Trump said America first will be our credo. And it was almost like zombies, dude. It was like they all turned their heads at once and then just started coming at us.
That's what I saw.
Like a horde.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I saw, and it really freaked me out because I honestly thought they were just going to mow you guys over. I thought they were just going to just roll on over you, and that's why I started looking, and I was like, because at that time I didn't get in, which I wanted to be inside, but I had been just recording the outside. But then literally right before you guys got back, I had found somebody inside that was recording. And so on my tripod, on the camera on my tripod, we had started, we jumped the feed inside and we were live streaming that. So I was not recording really outside with my camera anymore, but I had a second device. And so as soon as you came back, I flipped it on. And as soon as I heard you like do the squelch on the bullhorn, I thought, all right, this is going to be interesting. And when I saw that happen, that they ran at you, I was like, oh my God. So what did you think at that point? Let me ask you this, before I get any more in there, so we can knock something out of the way. Were you paid any money to attend today's rally?
No, absolutely not.
So
okay, I got a question before we go any further.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, you cut out.
Hold on. The other person's asking a question. I'll relay it. Go ahead.
Where did they get the bullhorn? This is great critical thinking. Like, these guys get an A++ for critical thinking. Where did they go and get the bullhorn in Muncie?
So yeah, where did you guys get the bullhorn at?
So it was pretty funny. We left at about I think like we were there for about 15 minutes.
Okay.
And we walk all the way back to, we both decided we're gonna leave, we're gonna go get one. And we drove all the way to the Best Buy, like 10 minutes away. They didn't have anything. And then we were like looking it up, and we drove to Harbor Freight, and they had $30 bullhorns. They had $30 bullhorns, and we checked it out with the batteries, and I thought it was like loose in the box. I thought it was going to be like a cheapo. Yeah. They're never going to hear us. It's going to be shitty. Excuse my language.
No, you're
very
fine.
Bad audio.
Yeah.
And it was so. We get out to the parking lot and we tested. It was so loud.
Yeah.
And we had some fun with that. We were really excited.
Yeah, that was absolutely beautiful. And knowing that you got it from Harbor Freight, I would say that it was it's like a bullhorn that they use on construction sites or something like this. It was the real deal. So if anybody out there is looking for a nice, I'm telling you,
Ryan Webb is getting himself one.
Yeah. $30 Harbor Freight. That is a wonderful deal. So that's there.
Ask these two guys. So
yeah, if anyone ever wants to spontaneously show up to a left-wing protest and just end it, basically, just go to Harbor Freight.
So tell them Ryan Webb's going to run in 26. Will they walk in some parades with Ryan and use the bullhorn?
Oh yeah. I think they'll need your bullhorn to help Ryan Webb when he runs for office again in 2016 or excuse me 2026. So I think that would be a good thing there. So
hey, let me ask you, what county are these two from? What county are these two boys from?
If you don't mind, would you have an issue telling us what county you're from, or are you from Delaware County? Are you from outside of the county? What are you like? Do you come to school from somewhere else, or are you from here?
So James is from. You're from.
I'm from Hamilton County.
Okay.
Well, where was he last night?
And then I'm actually from. I'm from Illinois. I'm from like the suburbs of Illinois.
Okay. So all right. So you are not from here. Okay. So that's cool. So you guys are kind of you're here from other places. So when they kind of come up and surround you, like what were your thoughts then? Like as it was moving around, like right up until you were punched in the head, what was your thought?
So my thought. So there were two things. So I've been to rallies and I've been to a couple protests, and I've watched a lot of protest footage. And basically, when you're outnumbered like that, you want to look good on camera, you cannot do a full retreat. You cannot run. You cannot leave. You have to try to stand your ground. Even if they're coming at you, even if they're yelling at you. So basically what ran through my head was, this happened way faster than I expected. I did expect something like this to happen, but I didn't expect it to be after the first thing I said, I was going to get that much resistance.
Right.
When you're doing counter protests, you'll always have to be I was expecting, honestly, get spit on, yelled at, maybe have a drink thrown at me. I was not expecting them to, what they did, which was bum rush me. But, you have to expect that if you're going to do a counter protest. But basically, the first thing was, wow, this happened really quick. And then the next thing through my head was, I have to keep navigating around them to move up. I have to keep moving up. I have to keep moving up. Because if you just kind of fall back, you're giving them the win. That's why we never actually even left the protest. Because we didn't want to give them the total overwhelming victory of like running out the Republicans.
Yes.
So that's kind of what went through my head. Honest to God, I care about my personal safety, but like, I was ready for anything, I was just there saying what I need to say. And it's like, if I go down here, it's worth it, honestly. So that was my perspective. We showed no fear.
No, they
you mind if James says a word?
Yeah. Bring James on.
All right, here.
Yeah, I'm James.
Yes, sir.
What was going through my head was, first of all, I was also surprised that it so instantly erupted like it did. I figured it would take a little more than a single line, which was really even kind of unserious, is just kind of funny. And I was the whole time in my head and a few times out loud, I was just simply praying.
Yes, I heard that. Yes.
Psalm 3 was going through my head when it says, I'm not afraid of 10,000s of people who have set themselves against me round about. Fear not they who can kill the body, but not the soul, or fear not. And I said the same. I'm Catholic. I'm a proud Catholic. I said the St. Michael prayer. I prayed the Our Father, I think.
Yeah.
I can't quite remember. And I told a few people, asked that the Lord would bless them. And because that's ultimately, to me, what it comes down to is I have no reason to fear any person who is of the flesh, any man, because I have no need to fear. And personally, I'm a pretty physical person. I work out. I'm in the wrestling club. I do judo, rugby. Physically, if it came down to that, I just wasn't scared of that either. They weren't very physically intimidating. I'll tell you that. And that's just what it came down to is I felt true compassion for them. I was getting pretty depressed a couple hours ago now, just, thinking about the hatred that they store in their hearts. I believe very firmly in that if Christ on the cross can say, Father, forgive them for they know not what they do, then I have no right at all to harbor any hate in my heart towards anybody for any reason. I told them that I respect their ability to come out and be able to do this and be heard. I told many people that. And the whole time I was just thinking about the scriptures. And I was just thinking about the fact that you can't stand down from what you believe to be true and from what you believe to be right. And no person can change that. No person, no matter how angry they get. One guy kept calling me a pedophile, saying that I put like cats in microwaves. It's so specific, you can't help but think he might. But
right.
And it was that guy in the plaid jacket. There's some videos out there, him up in my face. He was just the gadfly, like just following me around the entire time, literally being up against me, standing there.
Total freak.
Just begging me to do something like start a physical altercation.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, I got tired. It felt like when you accept that like a baby's just going to be crying and it's just like an inevitability and you don't care anymore. It's like you're just kind of sitting there and you're just like waiting it out, and because that's just the level some people are at. Now, other people, I don't make generalizations, we're perfectly fine. Aimee, you guys mentioned Aimee earlier.
Yeah.
I talked with her and this nice older lady afterward. They're just the sweetest people. They're concerned for us as individuals, regardless of how we felt. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And I think that's how people should be.
Yes.
I'm personally friends with people that couldn't disagree with me more about my politics. And I've been friends with them for 7 years because there's no reason to hate others for what they believe, no matter how incompatible. And I think it's very sad because to an extent, if you just immediately hate and you're this aggressive towards people who disagree with you, like we saw today, to an extent, you've had to dehumanize them in their mind. And I believe that comes from the top down. I believe there's a lot of division in this country, and a lot of it is doesn't need to be there. And I think we need to start seeing past our differences and looking towards a future where there's true civil discourse and the exchanging of thoughts and the ability to do that peacefully.
Well, damn. I mean, I really hope, I don't know what you guys are planning on doing in life, but I hope that we figure out some way for you to graduate and stay here locally, because I mean, that.
So my question, Chris, and I'm sad that they can't hear me.
I think they kind of can. Go ahead.
Okay. So my question is what are these two majoring in?
Yeah. What are you guys majoring in?
I'm political science. Okay. James, what are you?
I'm an English major, but I'm doing my best to try to make it into a journalism degree. I transferred here, and the curriculum is kind of weird if you're a transfer student.
Yeah, okay.
It is. Well, they probably need to be communicating.
I'm political science, but I'm looking to do, because it's a media school, I'm looking to go into media as well.
Okay, yeah.
They probably need to look at communications, because both of them did a great job de-escalating this whole situation.
Yes.
But you know, and James, I don't know if you went to Garin Catholic, if that's because that's the Hamilton County School here. I don't know if that's where he went, but he did a great job. And, you know, he really should check out both of our Facebook feeds, and he should start going, these guys should start going to meetings with us.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So in Madison County. And so if they want to get involved, this has been these two. I mean, their parents should be very proud of them.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I'm a parent. I would have been very proud how these two have conducted themselves, what they have done today. And I am very saddened to hear James feel that he had any doubts in his mind in the last couple of hours that he didn't do the right thing today, because you did. Yeah. So don't ever doubt. And that's what these people want to do, is place doubt on you. They want you to turn the other way, but you absolutely did an amazing job. And so, I hated to hear that on James, but if you feel that way, please reach out to me on Facebook or whatever, and I'll give you that little pep talk, because I don't think anybody took more beatings yesterday on Facebook than me. It was bad.
As always. So, I mean, I don't want to keep you guys I mean, I don't want to ruin your whole Saturday night, but let me ask you, I mean, do you guys have is there any other message you want to convey? Or, I mean, what say you, I mean, what's your thoughts on, you know, the rest of how everything else shook out at the event, or what more do you have to say?
Well, obviously I think, you know, politically, I'll speak on politics, and then I'll go into, you know, what's go into other stuff. But basically, I think that with this kind of behavior coming from the left, I do think the left is totally gassed. I think that they're cooked. This election kind of buried them, and they kind of, although I think it'll be different in 2028, because I don't think Trump is a total anomaly. Will never kind of be able to recreate the influence and you know, that victory he had. But I think that this feral behavior, this ridiculous, embarrassing, clownish behavior from the left, and you see it in real life, and you see it in Congress, you know, at the State of the Union, I think it's just going to bury them. But at the same time, I'm a little concerned, because people like Jackson Franklin, as, you know, radical as their beliefs are, he's got the suit, he's got the look, he's got the, you know, political professional look.
Sure.
And he does have the support, even if it is from some of those people are insane. But I think that's what what's going to happen to the Democratic Party next, is that they're going to shift away from, for lack of a better term, woke culture, liberal cultural issues, and move more into class and economic systems.
Sure.
And I think that the right has to start defining itself and start putting out a better message than it has. But as for the protest, I just want people to, that's why I quoted Trump in 2016. I want people to not only, find God, but also remember Trump's message in 2016, because it's not the same message as it is now. It's considerably worse and not as, it's not it doesn't have the same quality as it did. And I think that, you need to also pray for these people and, never back down, never, ever back down or apologize for what you believe in, no matter what.
Now,
so that I'll leave you guys with that. And then I think James would like to say something as well.
Can James,
hold on, real quick, Catherine?
Can James and Chris, Charles both hear me?
Yeah.
This is what I want them to think of what is happening right now. And it was actually Cindy Ponchett, who's watching this show, who had first brought this to me, because, these two gentlemen do not know me at all. But they said what is happening is what these two did today. It's like they literally walked in like Jesus did, and he flipped over those tables when he was, in the market. And because clearly nobody was wanting to get the memo in 2016. And so now you had to send a bigger message. And that's kind of what these guys did today. They said, all right, well, we're going to flip over all the tables. We're going to go buy this bullhorn. And so, again, I love these two kids. I'll come to Muncie. I'll buy you dinner, a nice dinner. And maybe Kristopher and Ryan Webb and those guys will all join us and treat you guys. So we can buy James a beer, but Charles, you're a little bit, we don't want to go to jail, but this is just amazing. So that's how I see them as they're talking, as they're flipping over tables.
Yeah. They both did an amazing job, and I like them. They're have a great message. So yeah, I think he said that James wanted to say a last piece here. So James, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, yes, sir.
I guess my biggest thing is, I think politically there are some major wounds between us as human beings, being affected by just the sheer amount of media we consume and how we consume it and what it's saying, and we're letting that get in the way of the fact that all of us have equal dignity, and that all of us deserve to be heard. Nobody has an invalid opinion, but the thing is, you can't take it too far, like what happened today, and try to say that others, such as us, can't speak their minds. And so in cases like that, it is very important to maintain your composure and not back down, like Charlie said, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of people who would back down, and
sure,
you know what, that's their business. But there's got to be people who stand strong, and it's very important that there's voices on all sides that stand strong against scrutiny. And I guess the only other thing I wanted to say was I want to reach out my love and forgiveness to all the people who attacked us, said all the things to both Charlie and I. Every single one of them, I'm not mad at any single one of them. I told a number of them that I even said, I don't care if they don't care, that I need to tell them that I forgive them and I am not mad at them. And because it's very important to me that they know that. That's a very crucial value in my life. And I think even if somebody isn't a follower of Christ, that's a very good sort of mode of living, a very good thought process to have. And I just want to say that I believe that Christ is King of the universe. And I am a proud Christian. I'll never back down from that. I'll never back down from the beliefs that come with that. And no matter how many times people wish to besmirch me for believing in what I do, I will not back down, because my God died for me for the salvation of all humankind. And there's absolutely nothing that anybody can do to make me reject that or doubt that. And I just want to tell everybody, if you don't if you don't already, please find some way, read scriptures, go to a church service, go to mass, go to anything, try to learn and try to open your heart to the concept of accepting Jesus as your Lord and Savior. He saved my life. He saved me from a lot of terrible things. And I look forward every day to the resurrection and living with him in paradise. And I want that for all people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, before James goes, again, I don't know if he can hear me, but James, if you can hear me, listen to me. So you talked about Jesus and finding that, well, I just want you to know that evidently God heard you today while you were standing there. And this gentleman in the plaid jacket is the one that took a swing at Ryan Webb. And then Ryan Webb knocked him on his rear end. I don't know if Charles and James know that.
Yes. They were there. They happened to be right behind.
And so they watched it. So
yeah.
I don't know if these two are wanting to press charges against those gentlemen. It sounds like James is very forgiving, which I understand that he is very forgiving. But the other thing is, Charles and James, is that sometimes the message is sent to the people with the strength. And these people do not stop until somebody is truly harmed. And sometimes I've never been a litigious person in all my years until about 3 years ago when I was in politics, and you have to send a message. And, you know, the chest bumping, the way this was going on, it's just a little out of control. You two did not deserve that. So anyways, that was just my thought process. But these two kids are amazing. And I know you guys probably hate me calling you kids, but you're just absolutely amazing. Be proud.
Yeah, they're absolutely fantastic. I appreciate that, Katherine. Before I let you go, Ryan Webb's in here, and he did bring up one last point here. I said I was going to ask you this, and you don't have to reveal this if you don't want, but I'm interested if you wouldn't mind. Towards the end of all of that, once everything got calmed down, the police chief, Nate Sloan, came over and was talking to you. Would you mind revealing what he said to you, or maybe paraphrase, or what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I saw your commentary on that. They actually were really chill. They just separated us, and they were like, and Sloan was like, I get what you're doing. I get what you're doing. You're allowed to do it, but like, you're putting yourself and everyone and us in danger. I'm not. And then he went on about like, he never asked us to leave. He never asked us to cross the street.
Good.
I actually asked him after it all calmed down if we were allowed to go back up to the hall where the other Republicans were. And he literally told me, like, you guys can do whatever you want.
Okay.
So, yeah, they never, our rights were never under violation. They just wanted to separate us and let us know. But out of respect to their safety, we did not use the megaphone till way after.
Yeah.
We did use the megaphone one other time
when
Jackson was speaking and he was doing like a mini rally.
Yeah.
The veterans came out and started chanting USA, so we used the megaphone to chant USA. And then that's when another altercation happened. But I mean, that's a bad look for them.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah. Like, when you have a protest, like, that's all that's remembered from that is the 3 assaults that went on. As for the guy that punched me, I'm not pressing charge. Like, it bounced off me. I barely felt it. I mean, you guys saw the footage. It just kept going.
Yeah, right.
And, he was masked up, total, like, freak, obviously. He had, like, balding dyed hair. Like, he disappeared into the crowd. I'm not interested in like pursuing that, honestly. He's clearly got some issues going on at home, but I will give a shout out to Ryan Webb.
Yep.
That was awesome of him to stand up for himself. I won't commentate any further on that, but
they do know he's America's favorite councilman, don't they?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to Ryan Webb, and then also I know you want to move on to the next segment, but also if you don't mind me shouting out the were to follow us, please follow us, the Ball State College Republicans Instagram. It's just, I believe it is.
Hey, listen, Charles.
Hold on. We gotta pull up the user
Instagram
tag because it's really
You
specific.
can look at look,
It's college reps at BSU, and then the same with our Facebook, and then we're trying to get back on Twitter. So yeah, please follow us there.
Yeah. I will definitely do that. I will keep in touch. I hope you guys keep in touch. You obviously, you've got my number. Keep my number. If there's anything I can do to help you guys out, I'll do whatever I can. And if there, if I would love to have you on. If ever there's anything that you would like to talk about or discuss, you're more than welcome to call me up, and we can get you scheduled a time to come on the show.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys for coming on and talking with us, and thank you for coming out and standing your ground. I'm glad that no one was seriously hurt, and it was a good time for you guys. I enjoyed the interaction with you guys, and keep up the good work, and we'll look forward to talking to you guys in the future.
Absolutely, and thank you for the opportunity. We really appreciated this.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Take care. God bless. Have a good evening, and we will see you next time.